So I recently posted like a short paragraph to Facebook on why I wanted to start a spiritually based business, home business. Um, a few things, living in South Florida, the South Florida traffic and I-95 and the Turnpike is always crazy. There's multiple accidents every day. We can always, try to find ways around these things, but you're forcing a square into a round hole at that point. Um, and it's I'm older now, so I'm not as out as about as I usually am. I'm a homebody. You know, I'm getting to a certain point where I'm gonna be traveling a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna be taking trains and planes and boats and things like that. So there won't really be a need for a car. Um, amongst other things as well, dealing with how much money that we actually make on these jobs. I didn't want to weigh my life. You have your whole life ahead of you, and you're telling yourself that an hour of your life is worth minimum wage, or I never worked for minimum wage, but you're telling yourself an hour of your life is worth whatever dollar amount. I remember making $16 an hour, and everyone in my community thinking that that was God's gold, and you know, it served its purpose. Little beknownst to me, not even a couple years later, I would be making almost twice that amount. So it's like you never know what God has in store for you. You never know where your talents and your skills carry you in this life. Um, and I learned quite a lot from all of these different places, working for Medicare and Medicaid, working for the census. I've worked for private contractors. I've worked for government entities. I've worked a lot of call centers job, big companies like Toyota, Lexus, and things like that. So many, you know, all these cable companies. So I was a desk worker, pretty much, for the past 10 years, and I literally have 10 years of work experience. Um, but yeah, another reason why I wanted to start a spiritually home-based business, or just start a home-based business, period, because last year I started printing and pressing masks and T-shirts um, out of my home. Bought a heat press and I just got to it, and I was surprised I was able to make $80 in 1 hour. Now, it take most people 80 hours, or I'm sorry, in order to make $80, it's a whole day. Again, getting paid $10 an hour, or whatever the case may be. Well, did I even say that right? But hopefully you got the gist of it. So it was a shock to me that I could literally, take an hour of my morning to print masks and T-shirts, and then just go outside and sell them and make a profit, just like that. Masks became a big thing last year, so you got to strike when the iron is hot, and it teaches you something different. Again, at this point, every mask that you see me wear is mine. I purchase the material off a website, and I purchase designs every now and then if I want to try something new. And that's just one of the things we have to get used to nowadays: a pair of shoes and a friggin' masks. So yeah, man. I had my liver transplant about 17 years ago, right before my 18th birthday. I spoke about that before. Um, my immune system attacked my liver, and it just changed my life. Really, it changed my whole situation. I mean, there were things that were happening before that. I started off very young and youthful and things like that, principles, honor rolls, being a good student and all that stuff, straight A's, and never getting in trouble or anything like that. And then I started to get older and I started to get sick. And I told the story of my mom finally taking me to like a pediatric associates type of like a kids clinic. And they wouldn't give her my test results because she didn't have the money to pay for it. So I think that was another one of the catalysts to the whole situation with me having to get my liver replaced. But yeah, so many things happened. I went from being the best person, or the best that I could be, being brought up in my circumstances, to sinking into the sunken place, of course. unbeknownst to anyone, unbeknownst to myself, my body just started to change and things like that. Wasn't really getting, I was getting as much sleep as I could, but it wasn't really helping. I was falling asleep in class. I would get sick often. I couldn't really feel pain because my body was already literally dying. My body was already literally numb. I retained so much fluid in my body. Once the liver's damaged, you can't filter your system, so you retain a lot of fluid. I can literally push my hand on my leg, and it would basically be like my handprint in my leg. I wasn't sweating much, so is that a frog? It's a freaking frog. But yeah, not a whole sob story. It's just, people wonder why or wonder how I do, what I do. Or, I wouldn't want people to perceive me as someone that is perfect or is poor. It's just the ebb and flow in life. I've always been the fly guy. Sometimes that's not the role that you are required to play at a certain season of your life. People know I'm a smart fellow, People know I'm lazy at the same time. The people the closest to me know that I'm a very hard worker when I put myself to work. So, Yeah, but man, dealing with that whole medical situation and laying in my deathbed, or I guess laying in my rebirth bed after waking up after a 12-hour surgery, and it being one of the most successful surgeries in history. They used some type of new medication on me and all. I don't know what they did to me while I was asleep, but apparently I had my liver replaced by a young white boy's liver who was about 6 years younger than me. Process of osmosis, so I'm already intelligent myself, but I'm pretty sure I took on some of his mannerisms and whatnot, But yeah, man, a lot of interesting tales I probably won't be telling you guys. It just felt like, again, saying why I wanted to start a home business, a spiritually based business, side project, side gig, becoming a herbalist, experimenting, growing my own plants and things like that. It's a lifestyle, really, and then you just share with your community. Be as local as you can, and you share with the closest people around you that you love the most. That's the best way to affect change or to create change. But yeah, man, it's quite interesting becoming this person that I was meant to become, or I always knew I was supposed to be, but it's like, again, imposter syndrome or being afraid of your own celebrity. I can only imagine where I'll be 5 or 10 years from now. But yeah, laying in my rebirth bed and the doctor's telling me I'll never be able to get close to people again. I would never be able to have children because children carry too much germs. I had just had a surgery, so I would be taking medication for the rest of my life. They gave me like 20 different medications. One to lower my immune system, because apparently my immune system was so powerful that, again, autoimmune disease, it attacks your own body if it doesn't for whatever reason, it doesn't recognize your own genes. But yeah, overactive immune system. So they gave me a medication that would suppress my immune system over time, and significantly, so that it wouldn't overtake or ravage my liver or anything like that, or any of my other major organs. So I wouldn't really be able to be out in public. I wouldn't be able to touch a doorknob, or I wouldn't be able to kiss someone or hug someone or have children, or even complete my final year of high school. Wouldn't be able to go out and get a job. And yeah, man, it would have been a very interesting situation if I had not took my life into my own hands. And regardless of what I'm doing is right or what I'm doing is wrong, we all have to leave this planet one day anyway. It is what it is. So, yeah, working the past 10 years on the corporate plantation and whatnot, and just being around people, trying to fit in, picking up their germs and their diseases, and being so nasty. I was never an over-sexual person. I was never, even though women and Girls used to throw themselves at me. Dudes always wanted to get into sports, and I was the big athletic guy. I wasn't into touchy-feely and all this stuff with people. I had my friends who understood me, you know. And they heard about what happened to me, they were shocked. They were very shocked. Their parents were shocked. So yeah, man, it was one of those things where it's like, here, take this little bit of money that we're gonna give you, you know. We're gonna sit you home for 20, 30, 40 years, and you just collect this little check, and we're gonna see how our little experiment works out. I'm talking about they had my my surgery trending over in Japan on their medical TV shows, you know, interviewing me, asking me about the things that I like. And it was interesting the way God works. Yeah, I'm sitting there talking in English. I'm pretty sure they're like translating it in Japanese. Oh, what do you? I'm telling them, like, yeah, I like anime and all this stuff like that. And I'm telling them about all the stuff that I like. And even my doctor, he was Japanese. I still remember his name to this day. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Right out of Miami, Jackson. One of the best hospitals in the world. Probably, yeah, in the world, in this country, most definitely. But yeah, man, cracking jokes with him. He's like, you'll never be able to drink soda. So indeed, a lot of these things, not being able to drink alcohol, not being able to, you know, drink. I don't really drink sodas anyways, or even juices for that matter. Like, I drink water and wine. Every so often, I might get like a little fancy and drink some vodka. I do like tequila, but it's like I rarely get a chance. It's not even like a once a year thing. Like, I rarely get a chance to drink tequila. I can afford it. I just don't go out of my way to buy it. It's like Hennessy to me. I hate Hennessy. And we all know how much I loathe using the word hate. So I'm just looking at all these mangoes. There's just so many mangoes on the ground right now. But yeah, man, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to start a spiritually home-based business. And, you know, the whole COVID thing, or the whole Corona thing, helped throw that into overdrive. It just helped me step into my entrepreneurial spirit. I was already contracting with the government, the census, out here in Tamarack, counting, not counting votes, just basically counting the amount of people are in the house. I guess that's counting votes, right? They think they so slick. They count how many people in the house so they know how many votes to expect. And the census only comes around once every 10 years. I think they've been doing it for about, I can't remember, I think about 200 years. Probably longer than that. My memory's off a little bit, but yeah. So you learn from these different things. And that whole time I was planning, saving up money, you know, and applying my skills and my networking talent, you know, friends, family members, co-workers, and things like that, you know. It just came a time where it's like, as a grown man, not as a 21 or 22-year-old that's stealing companies' information. It's like I'm a friggin' 30-year-old man, and I can't even check my cell phone to see how my family's doing. So at that point, it was just like, it wasn't like a hostile takeover or anything like that. And it's funny because, like, all these places, the place where the woman sexually harassed me and we both got fired the next morning, that place got shut down not even a month later. It's like all these bad things that happened to me, all these places, PRC, the first place I ever actually had the real job, working for DirecTV, making bank. The Spanish woman that fired me because she got upset that I shrugged my shoulders. That place, they got shut down for fraud. She lost her job. Haven't seen her face since. The supervisor there that I was working under, I saw him working in a driver's license place. He was looking so scared to say something to me, holding his head down. Black dude taking orders from a Spanish chick. Not saying that you can't do that, But it's like, bro, did you even vouch for me? Yeah, dealing with that at 23 years old, 24 years old, whatever. It's a whole 10 years later. Just, you know, you think about these things. Because again, you can't know where you're going until you know where you have been, man. Yeah, man, you try to hold on and you try to identify with the things that you can identify with the most. If you don't have grandparents, you know, you try to hold on to your parents. If you don't have your parents, you know, you try to hold on to your other family members, and you try to build your own friend or your own castle or kingdom around you, you know. That's how you create abundance. It's not just about money. That's how you create abundance. That's how we thrive as a culture. That's how we thrive as a people. So everyone should have a side business or a side hustle, or, you know, put $20 aside every paycheck so that you can purchase yourself an LLC in whatever state you're in. And, you know, if you don't know, you'll start to learn. Your knowledge will grow as you continue to cultivate, as you continue to experiment. You know, the people around you are going to start asking questions as well. And this has been the table of wise councilmen. You know, females are even included in what's going on nowadays. In fact, they control everything. I mean, didn't you see American Horror Story season 9, Apocalypse? Yeah, man. So that's pretty much it for me. Wait, hold up. I don't think it was season 9. It might have been season 8, where she joined the Illuminati at the end. Sarah Paulson with her sexy self, and she's old. I mean, oh my God, she ain't old. She's cute. she's young. She's in her mid-50s, so she's still mildly young, pretty much. You know, again, you don't get old until, you know, you start to feel old, man. Really, I don't even want to put a time on it, man. We should be living to 100, 120 years old. Out here in these streets. But yeah, she became the head of, or she joined the Illuminati at the end of that season. I think it was season 8 or 9. Watch it. It was the whole Donald Trump thing. It was the whole LGBT. You know, everyone should love it. Go watch it. But yeah, so I'm gonna close this video out. You know, coming up on that 20-minute mark, and yeah, man. Starting to do new things, learning how to mix teas, planting. You know, I've been planting for a while now. Collecting seeds, learning how to wrap sage in incense bundles. I'm gonna be getting into creating candles soon, and you know, maybe even some lotions. I'm not sure what's affecting my skin. I kind of have an idea of it. So I may be even getting into like shampoos and skin rubs and things like that, man. The more you develop talent and skill, you know, me being a herbalist, now I know what plants, now I know what vegetables and fruits and herbs help with things that people might need help with. Maybe you have a headache, maybe you can't go to sleep, maybe your tooth hurts. I can help you. But so, you know, spread the message, man. Whatever your talent or whatever your skill is, you know, play your position. That's the whole key to life. You know, stop running from it, you know. That's how you get in trouble. That's how your karma comes back to bite you. Spend so much time doing something you're not supposed to be doing, and it puts you in places where you're not supposed to be. Again, that's like a mother trying to tell you in a nice way to obey your father, and then your father trying to tell you in a stern way not to go outside, and you do it anyways, and you end up hurt or killed. Like, but hopefully everyone is enjoying their weekends. I can't help it. Keep putting out more and more content. It will help me get better and better. And yeah, man, I think I need to use my laptop movie studio so I can maybe create a movie for you guys or something like that. I think the people would like a movie. All right, man. Deuces.